Hello everybody, my name is Owen Gaming, and we are here today to start off a new series on my channel, which is obviously taking off of inspiration from WhatCulture.com, or What Culture WWE on YouTube, where the guy Adam would rebook pretty much WWE mistakes, or he would book new stuff, which is what I'm going to be doing. I am starting off my first rebooking with WrestleMania 27, probably my least favorite WrestleMania of all time. Then again, I wasn't really born around like WrestleMania 11 or 9, so I'm a little bit biased, and I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, this is the worst Mania. Just because it was some of the fights it had on it, it was just probably my least favorite. Anyway, alright, let's get started off with the matches I would just completely get rid of. Now, I had to look back at it, and I just remembered some of the shit fest they had going on. They had Jerry Lawler versus Michael Cole. Definitely just scratch that one from your memory if you haven't already, because by God, it was bad. And we'll also get rid of Kane, Big Show, Santino Marella, and Kofi Kingston versus the Core. I don't even know how that sounds like a main event match. That's something I would see on main event. Then again, I don't watch main event anymore, so I don't know. Because, you know, it hasn't been on TV. And it's only in WWE now. Well, you know what, whatever. Forget about that. And I would also get rid of Lay Cool and Dolph Ziggler versus Trish Stratus, John Morrison, and by God, Snooki was in a WrestleMania match. Okay. This is why I don't like talking about WrestleMania 27. It was just that bad. Anyway, the matches that I keep around are Alberto Del Rio and Edge, Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes, CM Punk and Randy Orton, and Triple H and The Undertaker. They were all good, fine, great, whatever you want to call them. And I'm tweaking the main event. Yes, it's still The Miz versus John Cena with Alex Riley at ringside, whatever. But I'm changing it so that The Rock, instead of just being the host of WrestleMania, is the special guest referee of the main event. It just makes sense from like a standpoint as far as selling tickets. Okay, so The Rock, instead of just saying, oh, The Rock's the host, he's going to be out there talking at some point during the show, put him in a match. I mean, he's obviously not wrestling in the fight, but at least he's in it to some point where more Rock fans are going to be like, we're more fans of wrestling at a better time in general. They're going to be like, oh wow, The Rock's actually going to be in the ring, he's going to be involved in some way, because special guest referees always get involved. Alright, I gotta watch that. And I'm adding 4 new matches to the card. I'm adding the WWE Tag Team Championships to the card. So instead of having the Core versus Kane, Big Show, Santino, and Kofi, I'm going to have Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater defend the tag belts against Big Show and Kane, because I like having the belts defended at WrestleMania, because it just makes sense. It's the biggest show, and your title should be defended, because it makes them look more important. I'm also adding, I guess I could have just made the change technically, but I'm also adding Trish Stratus with Lita in her corner versus Michelle McCool with Layla in her corner. I don't know, that just makes sense to me from a booking standpoint. Not only do you get Trish Stratus wrestling in a one-on-one match again, you get Lita at ringside. It's just gonna sell more pay-per-view buys. And I'm also adding a Money in the Bank ladder match. Now this is a little bit iffy, because at this point they had already added the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and the Money in the Bank pay-per-view 2011 obviously went on to be probably one of the best pay-per-views of all time, and it still will be. We're not canceling it, we're not getting rid of Money in the Bank pay-per-view, we are just adding one more Money in the Bank. They did it at WrestleMania 26, they had a Money in the Bank, and they had the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, so why can't they do it at least one more year, just to give more people a shot that were probably already on. Most of these people were already on the card in the first place. And in that Money in the Bank match, I'm putting Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, Wade Barrett, the Intercontinental Champion, Alex Riley, Ezekiel Jackson, Jack Swagger, Santino Marella, Sheamus, and Evan Bourne. I'm putting them all in the match. And then finally, I'm adding a United States Championship match. And obviously, it's not Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus, which was the originally scheduled fight for it. I'm adding Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler. Would you look at that? It's just it sounds better. It rolls off the tongue at WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler in a one-on-one fight. Alright, now let's get to how I would have had this all set up. Obviously, you start off the show the same as they did for WrestleMania 27. Have The Rock come out, do his whole spiel, blah, 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 blah. Do you smell pie, all that crap. And then you have the Money in the Bank ladder match kick it off. Not Del Rio and Edge, even though that really did hurt me to take that off of opening the show. It really did. And then during the match you have Kofi and Morrison and Bourne do all the crazy spots. And then you have like guys who level it out like Riley Jackson, Swagger. And like you have all that stuff. But in the end, Sheamus ends up winning by knocking Morrison off. Because if you remember back at that time, this was right after Sheamus had won King of the Ring at the very end of 2010. And he and Morrison were involved in a big feud up until the Elimination Chamber, which I think was the point where they started forgetting that they had a feud. Classic WWE. But I don't forget. And I have Sheamus finally think when Sheamus knocked off Neville at the Money in the Bank that just recently happened, the last Money in the Bank. But instead it's John Morrison. And this way we don't have to have Sheamus win last year's Money in the Bank. Because there's only one best in the world who's worthy of winning too, right? Anyway, yes, so Sheamus is Mr. Money in the Bank. Until later in the year, obviously. And then second, I'll have a little cool-down match, which probably won't last long, to be honest. Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel defending the tag team titles against Big Show and Kane. Big Show and Kane, I'd probably say jobbed them out in about 4 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe. It took Big Show, Kane, Santino, and Kofi about 3 to 2 minutes to beat the core, I want to say, in the original WrestleMania. So why not just have them beat them here? Because Big Show and Kane end up being the tag team champions by the time the next pay-per-view rolls around anyway, so you might as well just put the belts on the nail. At WrestleMania, have the title change. Up next, I'll have Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio, the match that went on second, right off at the original WrestleMania. This match I keep almost exactly the same. Pretty much nothing changes. Cody Rhodes still wins in the end. Everything pretty much nothing changes from that. Edge and Del Rio goes on after that one, the World Heavyweight title match, and that one stays the exact same as well. Now for the fights I kept on here, I pretty much kept them the same because there was nothing wrong with them. Cody Rhodes beating Rey Mysterio was perfect. It was a big shock at the time. I remember I was pretty surprised when that happened. And Edge beating Del Rio, of course I want to see Edge go out as a world champion still. It would be stupid for Del Rio to win that match. And then up next we have CM Punk going one-on-one with Randy Orton. Only during the match it doesn't go one-on-one. I know Randy went on this whole tirade, Punk kicking every Nexus member that went around. But in this, the Nexus still helps CM Punk get the victory and edge out Randy Orton. Let's say, okay, we get to that moment still where he springboards off the ropes, and Randy catches him in the RKO. But then as he's about to get the 3 count, Mason Ryan pops out from under the ring and pulls CM Punk. Or puts his foot on the rope, or whichever one you do. Either way, it stops the count. And then during the whole distraction thing, Punk ends up hitting a GTS and beating Randy Orton. And then afterwards, the entire Nexus starts stomping and beating Randy Orton until Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out and he wreaks havoc on all the Nexus, including giving a stunner to none other than CM Punk, giving a tease to a little WrestleMania dream match of mine and probably a lot of other people's. And then he and Orton share a beard because obviously you don't get the rank. Obviously, Stone Cold wouldn't appear otherwise unless you have him right here, because I'm getting rid of that god-awful Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler fight. So yeah, have him appear here. And then up next we have Triple H versus The Undertaker in their classic WrestleMania 27 brawl. And this one I keep everything the same. I didn't really mind this. It was an interesting take to have a streak look like it was going to go down because Triple H was beating him so badly. But then Undertaker pulled it out of the hat. I like that story, and I'm going to keep that the same. Up next after that, we'll have Trish Stratus versus Michelle McCool with Lita and Layla at ringside. Now, this is pretty straightforward, I would say, as Neville just kind of ruined it. I thought the Money in the Bank would last a little longer. Anyway, but Trish Stratus pretty much, just beats her with some good old Stratus faction. That's pretty much, Michelle McCool and Trish would have a good match. Maybe even better than good. Plus the Divas get a one-on-one representative fight. I know one of them's not a full-time participant, but whatever. It's still a representation of the Divas, unlike they had at WrestleMania, because I'm not counting Snooki in any kind of match. It's bullshit.
Here's your winner.
Then up next you have Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler. Just let them go. Like, 12, 13 minutes, and they'll have a classic. And I think Daniel Bryan should retain the U.S. belt just to make it look a little like strong. And then in the main event, the WWE Championship, The Miz still beats John Cena pretty much the exact same kind of outcome, except The Rock doesn't have to come out and restart the match this time, because this time he is the law. He just throws them both back in the ring. Cena's stumbling to his feet, and he's stalking Miz for the attitude adjustment, and then Rock pulls him off. He hits the rock bottom, and Miz covers him 1, 2, 3, and Rock counts to 3. And Miz is kind of like doing that, and then Rock bottoms him, and then you still get the image at the end of the night with The Rock kind of standing over both main eventers' broken bodies. And then, yeah, so that's how I would have done WrestleMania 27. We got a Mr. Money in the Bank to add some suspense to the months coming until Mr. CM Punk drops the pipe bomb. Big Show and Kane are the tag team champions. They get to do it earlier. The tag belts look more meaningful. Cody Rhodes and Edge still get their victories. CM Punk looks like CM Punk and the Nexus as a whole just look more threatening because, you know, they just got to win. Stone Cold and Randy Orton share a WrestleMania moment. Trish Stratus and Michelle McCool had a slobber knock Divas match at WrestleMania, which had been greatly missing from the show for plenty of years. I mean, up until probably around this year, WrestleMania 32, when the Divas Triple Threat happens. Then you have Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler, which will easily probably be match of the night, in all honesty. Unless maybe Orton and Punk. Because the first time around, Orton and Punk didn't have much competition for match of the night. Because Triple H and Taker was more of like a brawl than a match. And it was just, I don't know. So Bryan and Ziggler definitely go out there and tear the house down. And then the main event, you gotta get... And there are just so many more pay-per-view buys. There's so much more sell points to this. You get Lita, you get Trish Stratus going one-on-one in a return match. You get freaking... a couple more title fights, a big Money in the Bank ladder match. The Rock is actually involved in something other than just calling him the host. I mean, I know obviously he gets involved the same way, but this time it's promoted. Like, he's going to get involved. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? What are anybody else's thoughts? Like I said before, big shout out to What Culture, because obviously they're the thing that inspired me to start doing this. And thank you everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed my points of views, make sure you absolutely wreck that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.